Black men are the hardest group of men to date.
Hey beautiful people, how y'all doing today? It's your girl Destiny here and welcome back to my channel. How you are doing? Hope you guys are doing great. So today's video is a very interesting video. A black man is calling out black men out, literally reading them. Anyway, this video is a video of a black man who came online to talk about how black men are the hardest group of men to date. And he went on to list out some of the things that made the black men really hard to date. And he listed out things about his relationship with his mother, how he treats his mother, the financial difference between black men and black women. And so there was a whole lot of things he was pointing out that has led to black men being really hard to date. And this video has struck a bigger conversation of are black men the hardest to date? So let me know down in the comment section, do you think black men are the hardest men to date so far? Go down and share your thoughts. So let's go check out what this brother has to say about black men, okay, and why he thinks that black men are the hardest to date and his reasons. Let's go check it out. Then I'll come back and share my thought. But let me know down in the comment section what you think about this. If you think black men are the hardest to date, why do you think that is? Anyway guys, let's go check out this brother, then we'll come back and talk more.
Girl, black men are the hardest group of men to date. And if you don't believe me, you can look at the divorce rates. Black men that marry black women get a divorce rate that's at 100% higher than the average. Black men that marry white women are at a 200% divorce rate increase. Black women that date non-black men are anywhere from 20 to 44% less in divorce rate. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this because most black women are dating and marrying black men, and there are certain challenges involved with that I think are important, so I wanted to share those with you so you understood. Am I saying that I don't want you to be with a black man? Not at all. 2/3 of my clients actually end up with black men, but I want to make sure that you're vetting them very well so that you get healthy, healed black men. Okay? Okay, so what am I talking about? First, let's talk about mom. Girl, in the 90s, 75% of the households, black households, were single mother households. So black men generally have two relationships with their mother. Either they were a mesh, so entitled, and they think that they're the prize, and they are looking for women to be mothers, or their mother was very highly critical, judgmental. So a lot of black men are actually running away from black women because they're running away from their mothers. So a question that you want to ask if you're dating a black guy is ask him about his relationship with his mother. Yeah? Okay, number 2, money. Unfortunately, because black men are less educated and some, systematic prejudices, racism, discrimination, black men are not making as much money as probably they need to be. But also, they're making less money than black women. So, and this is the only kind of racial group where this happens. And so, it is very hard to find a black man that is making more than you. And if that is the case, oftentimes, black men will feel emasculated and often try to humble you and control you because they don't feel like they're in financial control. So that makes it a little bit challenging when you're dealing with black men. You want to ask him what he does, right? You want to ask him, and then you want to glass door that mofo, girl. You also want to ask him how many people he manages, right? Because if he can't manage people professionally, he probably can't manage people personally. Thirdly, you want to ask about the men in his life, his mentors. A lot of black men actually don't have many mentors, so it's really weird to say and it feels very archaic, but it's very true, and it is this. A man is looking for an alpha man to kind of check him. That is kind of the orders of operation, PEMDAS, if you will, in terms of how to kind of raise a man. And so if he doesn't have mentors, a father, other elders to kind of keep him in check, he's going to be out here kind of roaming the streets like many of them are. So you want to ask him, who are his male role models and mentors? Okay? Fourthly, you have to understand something. There are 100 black women to 88 black men. So what that means is, and if you went to college, you understood this gender ratio gap. It means that oftentimes men have more power because there are fewer of them. So it means that they're going to have lower commitment rates and higher abandonment rates because they're going to have other women waiting for them, which isn't necessarily the case for black women because there's so much more of them. And if you are in a bigger city, it's going to be even worse, right? It's actually like 25% more black women than black men. So it makes it harder to date them. So when you're asking about kind of his commitment level, you want to ask him how many relationships he's had that has lasted more than a year. Okay? And finally, the reason why it's kind of harder to date black men is because of the micro and macro aggressions that they have to face, similar to what the aggressions that you have to face. But oftentimes, those things will lead to depression and anger for men, and they might bring it home, which can make it very hard for black women to be with them. So you want to ask them how they deal with those sorts of aggressions on a daily basis and how they manage it mentally, intellectually, emotionally. I hope this is helpful as you evaluate black men, and also I want you to date everybody, right? I know that the biggest flex and in terms of being able to find success in your dating life is to be able to date everyone. I hope this helps as you navigate your dating journey, and if you want help with that, definitely book a call with me.
So please go down in the comment section and share your thoughts. Let me know what you think about everything he said down in the comment section. Okay, love to know what you think about this, because this got a lot of people talking about what he said, about some of the things he listed, why black men are the hardest to date. And I find a lot of the things he said really interesting, and I have a lot to say. So go down in the comment section and share your own thought. And I'll come back and share mine later on in the end, towards the end of the video. But let's go check out people's thoughts on this. Then I'll come back and share more of my thoughts, okay?
Girl, black men are the hardest group of men to date.
So I am a black woman who is happily married to a very healthy and supportive black man, but I can also recognize a lot of truth in what he's saying, and I can acknowledge the statistics are real. And I will never hop on the bandwagon of like bashing all black men, and I don't think at all that that's what he's doing. He's just stating some facts. And I don't think that all black men, obviously I'm married to a black man, I don't think that all black men are terrible or not marriage material, but they are, you know, slim. They're slim pickings, and they are few and far in between, in my opinion. They're like unicorns now. So I will always encourage black women to expand our options and date very intentionally, so that you can be sure to get you a healthy and supportive partner. So that means date all men, date them all. Do not limit yourself to only black men. And I know a lot of us have this dream of black love, and I'm not saying you should discard your dream or lose all hope. But most importantly, you want a partner that is just going to love you, respect you, support you, be there for you. And, you know, if you open up your dating pool to other options, then the odds are going to be more in your favor. That's just the reality. And my husband and I actually have these conversations about the disparity between black men and black women in the dating pool and in marriage. So, you know, he is very cognizant of that. And I think that's a reflection of where he is as a man, and what I believe it required of him to get to that point, to be able to recognize those things, are accountability, our growth, our success and progress personally for him. And I'm saying that to say the black men that can be honest and truthful about the statistics, about the reality of dating amongst the black community, are those unicorns. They are those men that are hard to come by, but they do exist. They exist, but don't put all your eggs in one basket, sis. Explore your options, open up your heart to potentially finding a man, no matter where he comes from, no matter what his skin complexion is. You're just wanting, and you deserve a man who is just really going to love and support you in a very healthy way.
Black men are the hardest group of men to date.
You're preaching to the choir, NY.
I'm a black woman who has dated black men exclusively for almost 10 years now, and I have recently decided to open myself up to other races. For the longest time, I thought that my standards were just too high, and I realized recently that my standards are too high for black men. I grew up in a two-parent household. We had Sunday dinners, we had Friday night movie night, Saturday game night, Christmases and vacations, my parents are still together to this day. And that is something that I desire for myself. I would like to have a family of my own one day. And I realize that you can't really yearn for something that you've never had. I feel like Black men, for the most part, because of mass incarceration or just general ain't shittedness, Black men have not had two-parent households. Every single Black man that I've dated over the past 10 years did not come from two-parent household. Additionally, I currently am a marketing and communications manager. I make decent money. I own my own house. I don't have any roommates. I also own a business, Harp and Hair. Check it out. However, I used to be a teacher. I left the teaching profession a year ago. And I have found that even as a teacher, I out-earned Black men as a teacher. I out-earned almost every single Black man that I've dated. Also, I had more ambitions and more degrees. I have 1 degree, 1 bachelor's. I had more ambitions and more degrees than most of the Black men that I've dated. There are a small handful who out-degreed me and out-earned me. But for the most part, I out-earned all of them and out-degreed all of them. This is not a slight to Black men at all. I truly wish them the best, and I'm still going to continue to search for my needle in a haystack, but I'm also opening myself up to other races. I feel as though, from my perspective, many non-Black men have come from two-parent households, and they want that for themselves. They also had examples of fathers who have degrees or businesses or wealth in general, and they want that for themselves. It's very difficult for Black men to learn how to be a decent husband and father when they didn't grow up with that example in their own home.
Girl, Black men are the hardest group of men to date.
No, we're not the hardest to date. There's about 5-6 million Black married couples in the United States, next to the 50 million total Black people who populate America, versus 260 million white people who populate America, and about 50 million married white couples in America. So it's just not Black men who are hard to date. It's everybody who's hard to date, all right? In our different forms. But Black men aren't hard to date, aren't the hardest to date for Black women. Because then you will have to just factor in all single people and why they're not married, et cetera, et cetera. So I would suggest we stop categorizing race in boxes that anybody can fit in. That's my whole thing about this type of conversation. Stop categorizing Black men and Black women as if we have this special like anti-ness for cooperation with each other, as if other races aren't uncooperative with each other, or as if we all aren't just uncooperative with each other concerning race. We see this through racism in our history in America. How are Black men the hardest to date when white people have historically, their bloodline, their lineage has historically done the most diabolical, wickedest things to us as Black people? We can't possibly be the hardest to date, man. But then here's another point I want to make. If I was a judgmental, biased, mean boy, rude boy, right, I would say something like, well, you didn't include the LGBTQ side of Black men. And I would assume by your essence and your gestures and mannerisms that you maybe are a part of the LGBTQ community, right? But this is why I'm trying to prove a point for that, right? Because there is a man on TikTok who admits that he's, I think, a bisexual. I think his name is BB. I forgot his name, but he's the brother with the dangly earrings, right? And you know what? I don't even think he's bisexual. I don't know his sexuality, just like I don't know your sexuality. But you both have a verbal essence of, more on the feminine side, right? But the man I'm speaking about, he admits that, right? And when he dates women, he, is impartial. It's not just about women alone, but he's impartial as a male in dealing with women about how they act, right? But my thing is this, when he speaks about his empirical experiences and evidence of how women are, not just black women, just women in general are, right? Women get in his comment section and call him sassy, right? Then I just look at your video and then I go into your comments and I'm just registering how you try to categorize black men into that box and women. Oh man, you speaking the truth. You know what I'm saying? They don't focus on the sassiness of your existence, your essence as a black man. But when it came to him speaking about women and how they act, he's labeled sassy. But the both of you have similar essences about you. When you talk, it's like feminine. You know what I'm saying? It's more softer in a sense. They call him sassy, but you are, oh man, you're talking the truth. So there's something going on with women, right? It's really something going on with women. Collectively, the consciousness is double standard in itself on a lot of topics. I think we need to focus on stuff like that. But I myself am an impartial guy. I'm impartial when I think. I am impartial when I judge topics or what people say and come out of their mouths. I'm not a biased person, but I'm very observative, right? And very observative people, when they speak on things that nobody says out loud, that's what people hate, right? People hate that subtle truth and facts that come out and observations that come out of people who are really observative, right? The nuances of what people say and how I can, differentiate between generalized points or statements versus the actual details of life, right? And I just think people such as yourself like to generalize people to gain some type of, to gain some type of cookies from a certain demographic, if you may will, if I may, okay.
Okay.
So from both ends of the spectrum, people are the hardest to date, right? We as people need to do better in everything.
Please go on down in the comment section and share your thoughts. I'd love to know what you think about this conversation down in the comment section, but please keep it respectful. You're on this channel, we're allowed to disagree, but we do it in a respectful way. So feel free to share your opinion, but please be respectful. I don't mind Pacey saying a lot in this last stage, and hear me out. I agree and I disagree with some of the things he was saying, okay? So please, I want to know your own thought on this. I feel like the original creator that came up to talk about how black men are the hardest to date was not really saying anything bad about black men. Like, funny enough, I felt like he actually said it in a very clean and decent way. But also, I also believe some of the things that he listed, that some of the things that as women, especially as black women, should look out for. I feel like it should be generalized. Like, I feel like those things are things that even as whether you want to date a white man, a black man, anybody, those are things you should look. His relationship with his mother, does he have a mentor? Who is his mentor? His financial gap, and what other thing did he even touch about? I felt like those are important things as women that want to date or be in a relationship. Those are some of the things that we should look out for, because the way he treats his mother, his relationship with his mother, says a lot about how he's going to treat you. And that says a lot about how he's being raised. And yes, I kind of agree with him talking about, when it comes to the black community, black women and more, even in my society, is almost like the men that earn more and have more money, even though in my culture, in my society, men take care of the women, there are also a lot of household in my society, in my culture, that is run and hold down financially by the women, but the women pass on the glory. Some women go to the extent of when they earn their salary, they give it to their husband to, like, say it looks like it's their husband that is taking care of the family. I know a woman that run down her entire company just by letting her husband be her husband. So the husband has access to funds and all that. And the man run the business down. This happened in my society. Okay, so I get that because in my own society, in my own culture, the women are more hustlers. I'm going to say this, if you're a Nigerian and if you are from the south part, specifically Delta States, you know what I'm talking about, in my society. So when I'm talking about, some people say, oh, no, not in Nigeria, men, but in my society, I'm not saying Delta or Yoruba men, I'm an Yoruba girl, okay? I'm not saying that, but when you look at the statistics of successful women in my culture, in my society, we have more successful women than men, and I can totally relate to this conversation, okay? And in these aspects, you now see a lot of these men, they try to check these women and all that, but I also feel like some those things he listed are things that generally whoever you want to date, check it out. And I agree with him 100%, him talking about how as women, don't just be fascinated about just dating just black men or just from your culture, your society, your country. Spread it out because you never know what's out there. If somebody doesn't care, I don't care where the person is from, or the person treats you the way you want to be treated and love you the way you want to be loved, and you are happy, why do you care? I know sometimes interracial relationship and marriages can be really hard due to the cultural difference, but we've seen it work. So don't just, I'm not saying black love is beautiful, but I'm saying that as women, let's just go where we are treated nicely, loved, and all that. If it can come in the form of a black man or a black woman, but it's fine. But this brother, the last brother that stitched it and was talking, I feel like it was a little bit like, guys know I welcome different opinion, yeah, but I feel like I get what you're saying, that it's a spectrum of things, that it's hard to date anybody. Yes, I agree, it's hard to date everybody because everybody's playing mind games, everybody's being manipulative. But I also feel like him trying to come for this, or the original creator, I feel like that is like, okay, why? Because the man didn't say anything wrong. But I don't know why he was doing that. Anyway, guys, please go down in the comment section and share your thoughts. I'd love to know what you think about this conversation down in the comment section, but please keep it respectful. You're on this channel, we are allowed to disagree, but we do it in a respectful way. So feel free, go ahead and share your thoughts. And let us know down in the comment section, do you agree with the statement that black men are the hardest men to date? Love to know what you think about this. So go down and share your thoughts. Go ahead and share this video with somebody that you want to be part of the conversation, because that's what we do here. We have banging conversation. So feel free, share this video. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, smash the like button, because this helps YouTube to push out my content for more people to see and join in this conversation. And that will be you supporting this channel and this girl. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel, and I will see you guys in my next video. Deuces.